Hey guys, showing you how to beat Night 1 on Five Nights at Freddy's 4. So this is a guide pretty much geared toward absolute beginners. I think you will find it somewhat helpful even if you are on Night 2, Night 3, Night 4, or something like that. But it is definitely geared toward absolute beginners to the game. I'm basically just going to be talking about a lot of the general and fundamental strategies of Fnaf 4. I'm going to be talking about sound cues and how to differentiate between them, stuff like that. So I'm really excited to cover this game. I am doing post commentary right now, even for the first night, both because I want to offer a more comprehensive guide as soon as we get started, and also because I need to be able to hear the sound cues very well while I'm playing, and I don't want to be constantly being like, oh, hold on, I gotta pause my talking for like 3 seconds. I'd be doing that constantly, basically. I do it sometimes in my live commentary guides, but it is pretty short pauses and definitely doesn't happen very often. Fnaf 4, I just would not be able to realistically do live commentary on. So I went ahead and started up here, went ahead and did the minigame, moved around with WASD. So as soon as you load in, then you will be in the bedroom. You have a flashlight that follows your mouse cursor, so use that to select which door you want to go to. So here's the left door, the closet, the right door, and you can also flick your mouse downward to turn behind you and look at the bed. So these are the 4 central locations of Fnaf 4. There's an animatronic at each of these. Nightmare Bonnie attacks from the left door. Nightmare Chica attacks from the right door. Foxy is a bit of a strange case. He actually attacks from both hallways until he eventually sneaks into the room, but instead of jump scaring you, he ends up in the closet. So you actually don't need to check the closet until Nightmare Foxy does manage to sneak into the room, which you'll be able to tell, and I'll explain how to tell that in a moment. I'll go a lot more in-depth to that in the Night 2 guide as well. And then there's the bed, so you just flick your mouse down while you're in the main area to turn around, and press Control to use your flashlight. So basically what you're going to be doing when you run up to either the left or the right door is, for Night 1, I'd recommend taking about 5 seconds probably. Count to 5 in your head, not out loud, at least not too loud, because that's going to impact your ability to hear the sound cues, which are very important. So when you go up to a door, you're going to listen carefully for about 5 seconds, and if you don't hear breathing, then you're going to press Control, and you're going to turn on your flashlight and look down the hall, which will scare off any animatronics that are currently at the end of the hall. If you do hear breathing, then you're going to hold Shift until you hear deep footsteps. That means that an animatronic has left the door, and it's safe to open it and shine your light once again. Alright, so now let's talk about the bed. It is very simple. When you flick your mouse down to turn around, and all you're going to do is hold Control instantly as soon as you turn around. If you have waited long enough before checking the bed, there's going to be these demonic little Freddy creatures called Freddles. So you're going to shine your flashlight until those all hop off the bed and scurry away, and then you're going to turn back to the main area of the room. This is to prevent Freddy from materializing behind you and attacking you, which I never quite understood how he does that, by the way, but oh well. And then if Nightmare Foxy does manage to sneak into the closet, then you can run up to the closet. And here, there's no penalty for actually using your flashlight. You're just going to hold Control and check in the closet. And then hold Shift if Foxy is in there, and you can reset it. Alright, so it is now 2 a.m. The animatronics do not start attacking before 2 a.m. on Night 1, so just run around and get familiar with the gameplay, get familiar with using the flashlight, closing the doors, running back and forth, getting a consistent pattern, that kind of thing. So on Night 1, the pattern that you're going to be following is left door, bed, right door, bed, repeat. So you probably don't need to actually check the bed nearly this often, but I just prefer to put it in my routine early. Normally you're only going to check the bed once per cycle, but we actually don't have to check the closet at all. Nightmare Foxy is the only animatronic on this night that is not active, so you don't have to worry about him sneaking into the closet at all. So all you have to do is check the doors and check the bed, which is why we check the bed twice. So basically, if you keep doing this at a consistent pace, then Nightmare Freddy is going to have absolutely no chance of attacking you, and so you just need to focus on Bonnie and Chica. Speaking of which, let's cover those now. So sometimes when you turn on the light, you'll see Bonnie or Chica at the far end of the hallway. This will cause them to retreat back into the, further back into the hallway, I guess. It's hard to see what's back there. So you can see them around the corner. If you look carefully, you can actually always tell when they're there, because it will take like an extra half second for your flashlight to click on for some reason. I don't really know why that is, but if you're too scared to actually look at the screen, what I like to do actually when I'm scared of Fnaf 4, because this is probably one of the scarier games in the franchise, quick I won't say psychology, but quick tip for you guys to not get as scared is to not look at your monitor while you are shining the flashlight. You'll tell if you get jump scared, obviously, and you'll tell if there's nothing there by sound cues alone. There's nothing you need to actually look at, and you should be able to tell if Nightmare Bonnie and Chica are there just by gauging the time between pressing control and your flashlight clicking on. It should be instant if they're not there. So if you are a little scared of Fnaf 4, if you're brand new to it, then there's a little tip for you. But now I really want to talk about Nightmare Bonnie and Nightmare Chica. So I mentioned the breathing sound earlier, and what you're going to do if you hear that is hold shift and close the door until you hear deep footsteps. I don't actually encounter, I think, them in this run. So anyway, I want you guys to familiarize yourself with the sound cues anyway. So here's what the breathing sounds like when you're at a door and the animatronic is right in front of you. Alright, so if you hear that while you're at a door, you're going to want to immediately hold shift for a few seconds, and then you're going to wait until you hear deep footsteps walking away from the door. So if you're wondering what those sound like, then here you go. Alright, those are two of the only sound cues that you actually need to know for night 1. There is one more that I'd recommend learning. I think at one point this run, I don't know if it's already passed or not, Nightmare Bonnie was down the hall there if you paid attention. I'd recommend rewinding just so you can see what that looks like. But one of the other sound cues that I'd recommend learning for night 1 is the sound of the frettles behind you. You're almost never going to hear this on night 1 if you are following the pattern that I told you, but it's good to know what they sound like anyway. So as more and more frettles accumulate on the bed, then they're going to make a weird demonic screeching noise. It's kind of hard to explain, but basically they're going to make this noise. I'm going to play it right now. And that noise is going to get consistently louder. It's going to keep getting louder every time more frettles accumulate on the bed. By the time there's 3, you're going to know it because there's going to be extremely loud screeching. So I spent a lot of time talking about sound cues on this run, but those are obviously the single most important thing to learn in Fnaf 4. Know your sound cues. You should also know what sound cues you can disregard, so I'm going to play some of those toward the end of the video. There are certain sound cues that just exist to distract you, basically. By the way, if you're scared of Fnaf 4, then I would not recommend walking out of this room, walking to the left, and walking up to the TV. There is a short jump scare that will play. Just trying to throw in some, once again, I don't want to say psychology, it sounds weird, but some tips to not get as scared for Fnaf 4 players that are brand new to the game. If you're still scared of the game, you can beat night 1 very easily as long as you follow the strategy in this video. I'm just trying to save you guys the headache of jump scares so early if you are brand new to the game. But anyway, yeah, so I'm going to close out this video just by playing a few of the sound clips that you should ignore whenever you hear them. These mean absolutely nothing, and they only serve to distract you, so take a listen. Alright guys, there you go. Those are some of the sound cues that you should disregard. So remember, left door, bed, right door, bed, you should have absolutely no problem. So with that being said, thank you guys for watching this guide. I hope it helped you, and I'll see you in the